I'm going to call to order the regular city council meeting for October 14th, 2025. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Adler.
Here.
Councilmember Duenat.
Present.
Councilmember Rubio.
Here.
Vice Mayor Veros.
Here.
And Mayor Armstrong.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, item 3, announcements. Do we have any announcements?
We do not have any announcements.
Any changes to the agenda?
Item 3.1, changes and additions to the agenda. There are none.
Okay, then we're going to go on to item 4, public comment. I'm going to open up public comment. At this time, the public is permitted to address the city council on any non-agenda item related to the business of the city council. You can speak on items that are on the consent calendar, including a request to pull an item from the consent calendar and the reason why you wish to pull the item or items. Please note that the decision to remove the item from the consent calendar is strictly at the discretion of the city council. You can speak on requests for future agenda items, and you can also speak on the special presentation items under section 6 of tonight's agenda. We do have 2 items on section 6 tonight. You can also speak on items that are not on the agenda but are within the city council's jurisdiction. Please be reminded that while the city ensures the First Amendment rights of its citizens, we do not accept nor endorse any offensive or hateful comments made during our meetings. The city celebrates the diversity of our community, and we strive to be a welcoming and open community for all. If you wish to speak under public comment or regarding an agenda item, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room and submit it to the clerk. While we encourage your comments, unfortunately, state law prevents the city council from discussing items that are not on the meeting agenda. City council does take them very seriously, however, and if appropriate, staff will follow up. And as a reminder, you may have up to 3 minutes to make your comment. Okay, do we have any speaker cards?
We do. The first speaker is Carol Lopez Lucy.
Okay. Hi, Carol.
Okay, this isn't on, I'm sure. Okay. Well, good evening, Mayor Armstrong and members. I'm Carol Lopez Lucy, live in San Ramon, and this evening I'm representing the Dublin San Ramon Women's Club. And also with me is Jerry Sutherland. And so we are here to advise you a little bit about our club. We're 60 years in the San Ramon community and a nonprofit 501c3. And so we provide service to our community to make our community a better place in which to live. So a couple of examples. For quite some time, we've had the student art contest for all students in the San Ramon and Dublin school district. And they're judged, and the majority of the art has been hung in the Lindsay Dirk Museum for about a month in April. And we follow up with reception to honor the winners with their friends and their family. So we've provided the school districts with school supplies so that all students are equal. And just to name a few of our events that we've done recently is we've given money to Goodness Village. I think all of you know about that. And the East Bay Innovations, which is helping disabled, not really disabled, but students that have a little bit of a problem. So this year, our General Federation of Women's Club, which is our national organization, is asking all the clubs in the United States to speak about domestic abuse and foster children. So what we're here this evening is helping to educate you all about what we do. And so this year we're having in November on the 16th, we're having a mystery luncheon on Sunday, November 16th. And I've given each of you an invitation to attend that. And it begins at 11:30 at the Wedgwood facility in San Ramon. I'm sure you all know where that's at. And so we would be happy to have any of you attend so that you could do that, because each and every one of us has a part in the solving the mystery. So this year we will be giving Winter Nights money for their programs, and they help those with homeless with food, and they give them a safe place to park. And then the other one that we're doing is I'm trying to think now, fostering children, and that's caring for foster children to help them so that they're comfortable in their home. And we've given them school supplies thus far. And this is to make them comfortable since they have probably had a domestic violence happen against them. So we would just like to let you know that we welcome you if the city of San Ramon needs some community service. We're here to help you and do that. And so I don't know if, Jerry, do you have anything else that you want to say?
I could say a little bit.
Okay, thank you,
Great.
Carol.
Just a second. I started with the club about 6 years ago, and the very first meeting I went to, I was quite impressed at the breadth and length of the things they did. I mean, who knew that, eyelash, brushes were going to be used on ducks with, or birds with oil. So it was a whole bunch of little things, but a lot of big things. We do fundraising primarily because we have these major events to fund nonprofits locally. And we've just joined the Three Valley Community Foundation to introduce ourselves to the broader community and to also identify needs within the Valley specifically. So we have these fundraisers. We invite you, of course, to attend. We'll do 2 of them in the year. We also have scholarships. We support seniors leaving, going on to college. So we have a scholarship program. It's one of the oldest programs that the club has done. But I find it interesting because in a way, we're almost the best kept secret in the Valley because we've been around for 60 years, and these women and our volunteers work diligently to support not only Dublin and San Ramon, but the broader community. We go out into nonprofits that are maybe in Alameda County somewhere. So anyway, I just wanted to say that as a 6-year member who does the website, so anybody can go visit our website and along with all the communications. But it's been a very worthy organization, and we invite anybody in the Valley to join. We even will allow men to come in. So just so you know. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, next speaker, please.
Next speaker, Johannes Tillahan.
Evening, Johannes.
Mr. Mayor, good to see you, sir. Mr. Vice Mayor, Councilwoman, it's been a while. To me, what I want to do is I want to put the thought into your mind, not for this year, but more for 2026. It's something that I'm very passionate about. And this is about businesses, attracting businesses into San Ramon. I know, Mr. Mayor, I've spoken to you about it quite a while ago. Steve, I know we've discussed it. And Councilman Jenwit was kind enough to speak with me on Saturday and see where the point is. You know, what really brought me up here to really talk about is the closing of Starbucks. That was by far, to me, one of the most shocking things. I really thought about calling them and not speaking to them, but really ripping them apart, because that is an amazing business place. They should have never have closed it. So what really brought to my mind is usually for San Ramon, there we have 2 great organizations that help us attract businesses. One is the Chamber of Commerce. Danielle, I see her. I don't see her today. Hey, Danielle. Yeah, she's done a great job, amazing job. But also, I've had the pleasure of meeting Candace out of our last council meeting. After that, I went and approached her, had lunch with her with the Discover San Ramon, which she's doing an amazing job. It's so nice. And they really Candace gave really high remarks about Steve and the team and working on it. So not my point. My point is, what is the role that the city takes in terms of attracting businesses? I know the agents and the brokers, sunset and everyone is there. But I'm a huge believer when it comes to business, it's the government that should take the lead, whether it's as a commission, committee, whatever it is, for 2026, if you can start thinking about, I'm more than happy to help in any way that I can. As a government, what can we do to attract, aside from the private sector? Right now, I feel like it's being led by the private sector. Nothing wrong. We have great people on it, but principally it should be led by the government and the city. So I want to put that into your thought, Mr. Mayor, for next year. Anything I could do, I'm happy to help, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Brian Swanson.
Evening, Brian.
Council members, my name is Brian Swanson. I'm a certified planner, a San Ramon taxpayer, a Twin Creeks South resident, and obviously a disgruntled registered voter. I rise tonight to have Agenda 5.3, Ordinance 534 removed from tonight's agenda and reclassified back to a full agenda item to be further discussed in public hearings at future city council meetings. This ordinance is far too significant to be buried among routine items. I submitted detailed written comments earlier this afternoon. I hope they are read slowly, if not multiple times. 3 minutes is entirely too short to address my concerns in full. Our local target has been blown up. A longtime local jewelry store has been smashed and grabbed and shot up in the process. And we had an unhoused individual camping on City Hall's front porch over the summer. Regardless of arbitrary and capricious claims from random sources, San Ramon residents and visitors are aware the city of San Ramon is on a steep and rapid decline. There are too many pressing issues that need desperate attention from City Council. Therefore, tonight I have prepared a formal script summarizing my most urgent concerns with Agenda Item 5.3, Ordinance 534, itemized for clarity and emphasis. It may run longer than 3 minutes. You should pay
Just a reminder,
particular
you've
attention
got-
to my
you've got 3
unapologetic tone. 1, obscure public awareness. The title of Agenda Item 5.3 is substantially different and far less descriptive than any prior agenda item on the matter, calling into question compliance with the Brown Act. This change obscures the true scope of the ordinance and prevents residents from recognizing the importance of the consent being sought. 2, deficient staff reporting. The current staff report is even less helpful than all previous staff reports. It fails to provide a comprehensive discussion of impacts, including the significant removal of long-established public involvement opportunities. These omissions deny the public a meaningful opportunity to evaluate the ordinance. 3, failure of timely public notice. The city's News and Info weekly newsletter, normally sent out on Thursdays, was not distributed before this past long weekend, beginning
Brian, I need you to wrap
October
it up.
11th. This lapse further reduces public awareness and participation. 4, mischaracterization of the ordinance. The repeated claim that this is merely a text amendment to make the general planning zoning ordinance consistent is blatantly dishonest and a betrayal of public trust by city staff
Hey, Brian,
the
you've
Planning
exceeded
Commission
your 3 minutes. I need you
and
to
the
wrap
city
it up now.
council. I told you it's going to run long. It's prepared.
Thank you. We have a copy of your full written comments. And I'd like you to,
Let me move on.
Brian, you've exceeded your
Let me move on. and
3
show you
minutes.
the
I've
planning
asked you to
guide-
stop.
The planning guidelines,
You're starting to disturb the meeting.
public community engagement.
Brian. Thank you.
Are you here to intimidate me?
Not whatsoever.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Brian,
You're showing your badge to me?
you've
or
exceeded your
intimidating me?
3 minutes. You're disturbing the meeting. I'm going to ask you to stop or I'll have you removed.
When 3 minutes,
Thank you, Brian.
there's a give and take in 3 minutes, we can talk about the 3 minute limits. When this
Brian.
political theater is over,
Brian,
it's not useful.
okay.
Look
Uh,
at how many people are
Chief,
here.
I would like you
finally
to
on
please,
something
please
useful.
remove this individual who's
Continue to-
disturbing our meeting.
Continue to intimidate.
Just asking you to leave. That's all.
No, you're intimidating
I'm
me.
asking you to leave.
You're
You need-
wearing your badge
You
in
need to
front
leave
of me.
this meeting now.
Okay, next speaker, please.
Our next speaker is Daniel Cook.
Evening, Danielle.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I am here to tell you about a really fun community event that the Chamber of Commerce is going to be holding on Thursday night. It's called the Wine and Dine. It's going to be at the community center. It starts at 5:30. What's so special about this event is we haven't held this event since 2019 when the pandemic hit. It's an event where we celebrate all of the local restaurants, wineries, and breweries in our area. The very businesses that were hit the hardest when the pandemic hit. So since we haven't been able to have this event, we're bringing it back. We're super excited. We have 30 different vendors participating. It is open to all community members to come and have fun. You come in, you get a glass, you get a plate, and then you get to taste all of the vendors that are in the room. We also have a silent auction that includes gift certificates to almost all of our local restaurants. And I just wanted to make sure that you all knew about it. I wanted to take this opportunity to invite the community to come and attend. It's going to be a fun night. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Olu Odwali.
Evening.
Good evening, folks. My name is Olu Oduwole. I live, of course, in Saramon, off Redwood Park, more specifically 101 Coriander Court in Saramon. I'm here to really understand the Measure G. This is a measure that we've had for quite a long time, which addresses the open space and other stuff. And I've been seeing things that shows that for whatever reason or reasons, the council is trying to take that away from us, the voters. So that's why I'm here. More specifically, Robert Winnett, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, voted for it, and later on rescinded his vote for that measure to continue. I need to understand why. Not just specifically to you, but to the Council of San Ramon. We need that back. We voted for it. It's been serving us very well. Why are we taking it away now? And it's kind of very frustrating. And this is my own personal opinion. And I'm sure there will be reasons for it. But whatever the reasons are, it needs to be known to all San Ramon residents. Why is this being taken away now? We voted for it. I've been here since 1989, living in this city when, Dorothy Valley used to be just only a 2-lane road with cars rolling around and other stuff. All of a sudden now, for whatever reason, this has been taken away. This needs to be known to all residents of San Ramon. And I hope and I pray that you guys review whatever decisions, because whatever you guys are doing right now is illegal. And that needs to be addressed before it's too late. That's my ask. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Next speaker, please.
Next speaker, Haraf Kathrani.
Hello, everyone. This is Chirag. The reason I'm here is about the Measure G. in the previous meeting on September 9th, Council Member Junet himself said, Measure G is a is a hillside and open space protection measure. It was designed for that, and it could only be taken away by going back to voters, not anywhere else. And I want to take you to page number 235. That's where the cross on Measure G is. And it's very crystal clear. It's not an ambiguity. It's in on 5.3, so I have to speak it right here. And we need to have minimum a huge public hearing if we are taking away such kind of bigger actions. We reached out to the CI of election department, and she also believes that a voter approved law cannot be taken away without going back to voters. And it's for open space and it's for our own community. I do not believe we should be taking it away. And please have a complete hearing on that and two more hearings. We should have at least 3 complete hearings on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Okay, so now Haraf Kathrani.
Dear City Council members, our platform, Open Governance, was founded back in January 2025. Since then, we've been highly motivated to bring government transparency and unfiltered information to the local community. As of now, we've been tracking our website statistics since June 2025, and I found that we've reached around 400,000 total views and more than 5,000 active users. Most of our users are from San Ramon, so I'd like to thank the city of San Ramon for giving us such an opportunity.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Richard Curry.
Evening, Richard.
Good evening, Mayor Armstrong, members of the council. Thank you for the opportunity to address you this evening. My name is Richard Curry. I've been a resident of San Ramon for 34 years, raised 3 kids here. My purpose in addressing the council is, like others have said, to request that item 5.3 be removed from the consent calendar to allow further discussion, public comment, and a more transparent public process to address changes and deletions that are being proposed by the city as it relates to Ordinance 534, and specifically the deletion of the requirements to follow Measure G approved by the voters of San Ramon. I believe this matter has had insufficient public input and comment, and it is inappropriate to include it on the consent calendar. Measure G was passed by very passionate citizens of San Ramon, not only to protect the hillsides and the beauty of our city, but to establish a process for public input and to put in place strict requirements for future modification of its provisions. It appears questionable whether the council can simply strike the provisions of Title D pertaining to Measure G by a simple vote in what is a massive ordinance of several hundred pages. I'm asking you to be responsive to the concerns of your citizens and continue discussion, analysis, and public input on the issue that is so close to the hearts of those you serve. I love San Ramon. I love living here, raising a family here. It's a beautiful city. I don't want to live in a Dublin. I want to live in San Ramon, a beautiful city. And there have been many things that have raised concerns about San Ramon to me and my family. The preserve up in the hills, the Alta building and how close it is to the street, and just the loss of setbacks in so many of the new developments. So let's keep our city great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Susie Ferris Inderkum.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I too am here to talk about Measure G. And I want to be clear that in the general plan, for 2035, it took up a good portion of the introduction, speaking directly to Measure G. In the 2040 general plan, there are at least 12 references to Measure G. And it bases basically everything related to growth management, land use, urban growth boundaries, and open space conservation. Based on research, there are still misunderstandings or confusion, I think, among the public as to why references to Measure G are being removed from so much text. It was recently stated that there was a sunset clause associated with Measure G, and I have been unable to find it. So I would really appreciate it if somebody that feels strongly that you have the right to sunset Measure G and to remove it from everything, if you would make that perfectly clear to the public. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker, please.
Ada Escobillas.
Hi, I'm Ada. Thank you for having me. Similar to my fellow San Ramon residents, I have very similar concerns with Measure G. My concerns are public safety, but most of all, just as a mom of 3 kids, my concerns are that overdevelopment. We're losing the beauty of San Ramon with this dense housing. And with that, it makes me sad to see San Ramon, to your point, I don't want it to turn into Dublin. That's why we moved here 15 years ago. And we loved seeing the parks. We loved seeing the open space. So seeing these beautiful eucalyptus trees just come down for more housing, just driving through that and the congestion in the morning on Norris Canyon is not what I want to see as a mom. And I know that zoning for higher density means more traffic, more people. Our schools are already impacted. And I'm concerned, especially with our public schools and especially with our high schools. We've got over 2,300 students at Cal High. It's concerning to me that we're going to develop more housing. So as a public concern, I just want to bring to your attention, please take into consideration those open spaces, those families, why we moved to San Ramon, and let's just keep that beauty that we love about our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anay Gandhi, and I'm a sophomore at Doty Valley High. I've been volunteering with Open Governance Initiative for several months now, and it has come to our notice that a law protecting our open spaces or Measure G is being illegally abolished, with removing supermajority and public oversight for large development, meaning our open spaces will be in threat. I would request that the council to bring the ordinance 534 for a full public hearing and appreciate a town hall for all the adults out there. Would you like your children to live in a place filled with buildings and no open parks and open spaces for our children to enjoy their future in? No, right? Measure G opposes this. While volunteering with open governance, I've also been able to get firsthand information of what people have been discussing and how their actions can also be of great value to the community and the government. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Santosh.
Good evening, Mayor Armstrong and council members. I'm Santosh Kanjila. I'm honored here to stand before you today with regards to the Fall 2025 Planning Academy. I wanted to express my appreciation to the city zoning administrator, Lauren Barr, and his special team. And thanks to Cindy and Ryan for putting in their efforts in organizing a 6-week program for San Ramon Planning Academy on Wednesday evenings after the business hours. So this comprehensive program covered a wide variety of topics from land use and zoning to environmental sustainability, community engagement. But most importantly, I want to bring to notice, it also provided information on knowledge on the state laws and how cities' hands are tied with respect to the developments that are coming in future. And I strongly encourage all the citizens to please go through this, apply for this academy and understand what's been going on in general, not just with City of San Ramon, but richest cities like Atherton and other places within Bay Area. So I also want to thank for their depth and breadth of knowledge they have shared. Lauren, Cindy, Ryan, thank you very much. And I want to appreciate the dedication they have provided to the education. And please, if the value they have imparted, the knowledge they have shared with us, and all the participants, which are over 20 members that have joined across the 6-week period. I also want to thank each and every one of them. Many of them are here. Probably they'll come on to the dais in the next few minutes for their appreciation and their certificate. But they have endured all 6 weeks. They have showed up on time and they have done a great job. Thank you very much. So I finally want to thank the team, the city for putting this together, and thank all the work, expertise, and enthusiasm they have showed from a zoning administrator and the entire department perspective. And I look forward for similar initiatives and ask that many other citizens that are here, please learn about the Planning Academy, what is going on within the city, what are the state laws, and where we should direct our anger also, especially what's happening within our state councils. Those are the most important things that doesn't come to notice at a city level. And by the time it comes to us, most of our hands are tied down. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you all.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Donna Brown.
Hi,
Good
Donna.
evening. Excuse me. My name is Donna Brown, and I've lived in San Ramon since 2006. And I just wanted to come up and say how thankful I am of how thoughtful the council is as we do expand San Ramon. We do have certain requirements to build more homes in this area. And I am very upset. I'm a little bit shaky and disappointed at the amount of misinformation that is being put out there under the guise of, I would say, under the guise of being accurate or reported information. And so I really want to encourage the rest of my San Ramon compatriots, the other residents of San Ramon, to really get clear information, to really understand that everything we do here in San Ramon is to continue building the quality of life that we love. And a very big part of that is our parks. And every single development that I've seen a presentation on includes a park. There is not one development, I think, that did not include a park. So when I hear people come up and speak about lack of clarity or lack of or things being discussed behind closed doors, it makes me very upset. And like, that's why my voice is shaky, because I feel like if you read, if you seek out information, you'll find the accurate information. Don't rely on somebody else to do your research. I've been doing my own research for the past 2 weeks, and now I understand what's going on with Measure G. And I encourage everybody to stop reading just the ray of an email and think that that is the explanation of everything that's going on. So I just wanted to express that because I hear people coming up over and over, and it's most upsetting to me when it's young people who are being kind of told that this is accurate information when there is much more to it. I want to really commend the gentleman that spoke before me. I apologize, I didn't get your name, but he has the right idea. Educate yourself. Take the Planning Commission class. Take any class or any opportunity to educate yourself about your community if it's important to you what's going on there. Join the PTA. join the Ed Fund, whatever it might be. The more involved you are, the more you actually know what's going on in the community. So just, I wanted to say thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Greg Carr.
Evening, Greg.
Good evening, Greg Carr, resident of this city, former mayor, former council member, former Save Our Hills chairman, former a lot of formers. But I haven't been down in a while, and I hadn't planned to step into what's just taken place. I suspect that a lot of the concerns that have been expressed are because of lack of information. You've got all the information, and the staff does. The trick is to somehow convey that to the residents, to educate them as much as you can with really what's going on. You know, Measure G, all the way up to the state of California and the push for housing. You need to sit down and tell them some realities about how the state government can control what you do. And if you try to thwart that, they can bring the state DOJ down on you and just make your lives hell. And you don't want that. Nobody wants that. Except, you know, probably Greg Carr in the old days. But I'm tired of that. So I would urge you to hear what they've got to say, even if it's not in the altogether, even if there are errors among it. But there's a kernel of truth to what each of them says and the concerns. And the concerns they have are, where is the city going? Okay, how's it going to be in the future? Those are all valid concerns. And again, going back to lack of information and the transmission of the knowledge you've got of how the system works, starting from the governor down, ending up in your laps on this dais. If you were to offer to have a public meeting for them and explain all of that, explain what you know and what's driving oftentimes your decisions that go counter to what they might think and want. Now, you might go ahead and say, yeah, Greg, that's a pretty good idea. And you go down, you set it up at the community center, and 10 people show up. Well, if 10 people show up, then it's not your fault. It's theirs. Okay? And if you do your best to explain to them why your hands are perhaps tied, that's your job. And I know all of you have that ability to do that. It's just having the desire to do it. But I would urge you to inform people, educate them, tell them the reality that you know that they may only know a part of. And then perhaps you might have, different comments and then different concerns. And maybe some of those concerns would end up at the ballot box, but who knows? So it's good to see that people are upset about things. They come down and speak. And I got a lot of experience with that over the last 38 years. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Lokesh.
Good evening, council members. I wanted to thank you, first of all, for organizing the Police Community Academy. I think it was very well organized. I'm part of that. I heard from other people about it, but this time I'm experiencing it myself. It is fantastically done. So I really wanted to thank you guys. It's a program which no other city that I know of runs it. It's extremely great. I had a couple of other things I wanted to kind of bring to attention. Almost every city has a city hearing session where you can not only speak, but also get questions that can be potentially answered. I'm hoping sometime in future there will be a session in San Ramon where citizens are allowed to ask questions, but also get answers at least once or maybe twice a year. thirdly, I've been a resident of San Ramon for about 10 years now. And where I live, there was supposed to be an old people's community or old people's house was about to be built. It has been a while. It hasn't been built. There was an old house that got burned down by some students, and it's still sitting there burnt down. It's not great for teenagers to go in there and create havoc. So if there's any way something can be done about it, it'll be really appreciated. I have a 10-year-old daughter, soon to be teenager. I definitely would not like her to hang around that place. The house is burned down and it's just sitting there burned down. So if anything can be done about it, I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
So there are no more speaker cards. However, we did receive 8 written public comments, which are before you and in the back of the room. We also just received 1 new public comment that was handed out, which we will provide to the council. It is in reference to an ordinance that was heard at a previous meeting.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, then I'm going to close public comment. And so now we're going to move on to item 5, which is our consent calendar. Gotta get to my agenda here. And do we have any council member that wishes to pull the consent, one of the consent items? We've heard quite a bit of comment on that this evening. Anyone wish to pull that? Okay. All right. So, I
Mayor, the public, she was requesting to speak under item 9.1. This is not on the consent calendar.
7 copies. Just
Okay.
a few minutes before,
Okay.
I printed out the 7
Correct.
copies that you guys needed.
Thank you.
Correct.
Yeah,
It's
if you want to
refused.
speak on item 9.1, you can speak on item 9.1. On item 9.1? Which item did you want to speak on, ma'am?
Please allow me my 3 minutes to speak.
I'm sorry, I've closed public comment.
For months. I am requesting 3 minutes
All
to
right.
speak.
I'm sorry. We've moved on from public comment. We've closed the public comment.
This will be 24 and 35. It's hanging
All right.
with my 2 boys both off.
Please sit down. Please hold your conversation.
Through the mayor.
We're holding an official city council meeting to discuss government business. You're being disruptive. If you continue to be disruptive, you're going to be removed from the meeting.
Investigations and followed all proper procedures. We reported the issue, got testing and filed complaints with every agency. Nothing has been moved forward. I'm scared. Nothing has moved forward.
Again?
Not just for my family, but for all of us.
Albright.
Because this can happen to.
All right, the council is going to move to recess. We'll reconvene the meeting in a few minutes. Thank you. Second?
Burrows was the first motion.
Okay, I'm showing mover Rubio, but
Oh. You got to switch it.
that's fine.
It's okay. Can you switch it?
Okay, because somebody got to hit it second there.
It's backward. No. Burrows was the motion, initiated the motion, second by Rubio.
Okay, so correct that on the record, please.
Okay, that's been corrected on my end.
Okay. Okay, motion passes. Now we'll move on to item 6, which are proclamations. We've got item 6.1. And I've got a couple proclamations here I'm going to read. And this is for proclamation declaring October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I'm going to do a presentation to Ruchi Basal and also to, let's see, Shubha Bhatia and from Narika, or whoever we got. Who made it today?
All can count actually.
Okay, all right, who's doing it? Okay, all right, how do you do it?
Hi, Shubha.
Shubha, thanks for joining us today. All right. All right, I've got a proclamation here. And I'm going to read this proclamation, and I'll give you the opportunity to make a couple comments. Okay, this is a proclamation of the City Council of the City of San Ramon declaring October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness and Prevention Month. Whereas 1 in every 3 women will experience domestic violence during her lifetime. 1 in every 4 women will experience sexual assault in her lifetime, and 1 in 6 men have had abusive or unwanted sexual experiences in their lifetime. And whereas approximately 15.5 million children are exposed to domestic violence every year, and whereas when a family member is abused, it can have long-term damaging effects on the victim that also leave a mark on family, friends, and the community at large. And whereas families are indispensable to a stable society, and they should be a place of support to instill responsibility and values in the next generation. And whereas violence against women and children is a prevalent social ill due to the historical imbalance of power in gender and age. However, sexual and domestic violence are widespread and are devastating to society as a whole. And whereas the problems of sexual and domestic violence are not confined to any group or groups of people, but crosses all economic, racial, gender, educational, religious, and societal barriers, and are sustained by societal indifference. And whereas the crimes of domestic and sexual violence violate an individual's privacy, dignity, security, and humanity due to the systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, and economic control and/or abuse. And whereas victims should have help to find the compassion, comfort, and healing they need, and abusers should be punished to the full extent of the law. And whereas victims of violence should have access to medical and legal services, counseling, emergency and transitional housing, and other supportive services so that they can safely escape the cycle of abuse. And whereas it's important to recognize the compassion and dedication of the individuals who provide services to victims of domestic and sexual violence and work to increase public understanding of this significant problem. And whereas local programs, state coalitions, national organizations, and other agencies nationwide are committed to increasing public awareness of domestic and sexual violence and its prevalence, and to eliminating it through prevention and education. And whereas we dedicate ourselves to protecting vulnerable members of our community, and whereas San Ramon has a moral obligation to work to prevent domestic violence, address its brutal and destructive effects, and make ending domestic violence a local priority. Whereas there are local programs and services available to victims of domestic violence and their children, now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of San Ramon does hereby proclaim the month of October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness and Prevention Month and urge all citizens to actively support work towards the elimination of domestic violence. All right, so for Narika, a certificate for you. All right, our proclamation. We'll do one. Oh, we got a picture here, it looks like. All right. All right, did you get it? Oh, I think. We're gonna try it again.
Oh.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and we have another certificate. I'm not gonna read it again because it's exactly the same. But this is for your organization as well, so. And we'll give you the opportunity to speak here in a moment. All right, and I think we got another picture. All right. All right. Here you go. Scott. Oh,
Need to take one more.
Oh, yeah. All right. Where's yours, please?
Dear Mayor Mark Armstrong, San Ramon City Council member, and everyone joining us today. My name is Ruchi Bansal, and I am the Volunteer Management Team Lead for Revire Community. It is both an honor and a privilege to accept this proclamation, recognizing October as National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. As we know, domestic violence, also called intimate partner violence, it's not just physical. It can be verbal, emotional, sexual, financial, and in today's world, even digital. It can affect anyone regardless of race, age, gender, sexual orientation, religion, education, or income level. We have heard that nearly 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men experience intimate partner violence in their lifetime. And that's just physical or sexual abuse. Many voices are still unheard, especially in LGBTQ+ communities, where rates are higher. This year's Domestic Violence Awareness Month theme is With Survivors Always, a reminder that survivors deserve safety, support, respect, and care every day. It is also a timely message as changing regulations are affecting the resources and funding needed to continue vital services to those who are impacted by violence. As Rewire community, we are grateful to be able to contribute to this movement by creating spaces to raise dialogue and action, to learn about healthy boundaries, mobilize resources, and provide ongoing survivor care relief. Rewire community is honored to be receiving this proclamation with Narika. On behalf of Rewire community, I also extend a heartfelt invitation to everyone listening today to join our community vigil to mark the National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Please join us on Saturday, October 25th at 11 a.m. in front of San Ramon City Hall to visibly support survivors and raise awareness. Thank you again, San Ramon City Council and everyone here for uplifting survivor voices, supporting grassroots efforts, and joining us as we stand with survivors always. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Shubhla Bhatia, and I'm the Community Engagement and Donor Relations Manager at Narika. I thank the City of San Ramon and the City Council for this powerful proclamation in honor of National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. On behalf of Narika, I want to express our deep gratitude for your recognition and support. For over 30 years, Narika has stood in refuge and support for survivors of domestic violence, specifically among South Asian and immigrant communities. What began as an informal gathering of immigrant women
who saw an urgent need for culturally responsive help, has grown into a full-service nonprofit, operating a confidential, multilingual helpline, offering emergency safe nights, case management, legal housing referrals, therapy, financial literacy programs, support groups, wellness workshops, and more. We address not only physical abuse, but the emotional, financial, social, and immigration-related abuse that too many survivors face alone. Our advocates accompany survivors through legal systems, help create safety plans, assist with language barriers, and stand with them when resources are scarce. Your proclamation today sends a strong message to survivors in San Ramon and in Tri-Valley that says you are seen, you're supported, and you're not alone. It affirms that the city stands with them and with organizations like Narika, who work tirelessly for healing, safety, and empowerment. In the past few months, the number of survivors we've supported in Tri-Valley has doubled. It's now 40. We know there is more work ahead. Deep-rooted barriers like stigma, isolation, lack of access to culturally attuned services persist. But with your collaboration, your support, and your voice, and voices of partner organizations like Rewire, PFLAG, and South County Justice Center, with whom we work very closely, we can do more. We can ensure the survivors in every neighborhood have access to services that they need. We can build awareness so that compassion, not silence, defines our response. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, with you guys, I guess. Yeah, we're going to ask you to come back up. We're going to have the council come down and get a picture with you as well. Come on, get gang up here. All right. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, don't go anywhere yet. I think Council's got something to say too. All right, let me turn it over to council members. Do you have any comments you'd like to make? Anyone?
I just have a quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Robert.
Congratulations, really. And quick question. What you said October 28th? What time? Oh, 25th. I'm sorry. I'm remiss. 11 a.m. And it's going to be here? Okay. And if we wanted to donate, I just curious because I every year I run a donation for baby formula, Infamil formula for domestic violence and wives and mothers that can't produce milk. Yes. How can we donate? Do we donate to?
Ma'am, please, council member speaking.
Do we donate to you guys, or like how I would like to interact with you guys at some point. I don't want to take up time here, but maybe we could reach out, and I would love to see how we could help, because I have an organization that could potentially help. So thank you for being brave and stepping up. Thank you so much.
Marisol?
So first and foremost, yes, congratulations, but even more, thank you. Thank you for what you do for our community. There are so many women in need, and especially as mentioned, the immigrant population. They often come here with no resources, no idea where to go. What you are doing is truly saving lives every day. And, you know, as I became familiar with Narika even before I was elected. And I've been very happy and proudly attending your events, and I will continue to do so because, as I have openly shared with you too, I am a survivor myself. And I understand how scary it is to have to verbally say that out loud, to own that and to overcome that fear. And so I hope that in all of us sharing our stories, we empower each other and enable each other to move forward in a manner that is healing and recuperative. And because those scars do last a lifetime, but it's with helping us each other find a way to move forward despite those scars. So with that said, I just want to say thank you again. Let me know anytime, anyhow I can support you. You know I will be there. I just appreciate you immensely. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Richard?
Yeah, I want to thank you as well to the fact that you're bringing this issue out, and it's something that we can never forget. And we also want to be able to support you anywhere, any way we can. I've gone to some functions where we've raised money for this, but you know, it's not something that unfortunately is going to go away. So we, as a community, really want to support you and do what we can. And we appreciate you bringing this subject out. It's not an easy subject, but you can never forget it because it's happening. And we want to do the best to help those who are victims. So thank you.
All right, Vice Mayor Burrows.
Thank you, Narika and Rewire. Your leadership and volunteerism, we are very blessed to have such a great organization within our community. It's the services that you do for most vulnerable people when they need support, and you are always there. Anytime when I get a call about any domestic issues, the first thing I can think of is Shailaja Dikshit. So we are really fortunate to have organization like you, Rewire, as well as Narika. Please let us know how we can support and help. By the way, thank you very much for inviting me for your gala, for Narika's gala, along with Council Member Rubio. We had a very good time and while supporting and your cause. So thanks for allowing us to participate in your efforts to whichever way we could. And we would love to continue to support you. And I'll see you on October 25th at 11 a.m. in front of City Hall. Once again, thank you very much.
Okay, and I also want to say thank you to Narika and Rewire. You know, San Ramon is not immune to domestic abuse, domestic violence. So that's an important topic in our community. Thanks for what your organizations do that can help out. And it's great to hear that you've got this relationship with the South County Family Justice Center. They're doing some good work there as well and can provide connection and resources and connect people to your organization. And that sort of thing. So thank you again for all that you do in the community and for enlightening us and bringing this issue to the public forefront. So thank you. All right. And with that, we're going to move on to item 6.2. And I'm going to ask Ryan Driscoll to come up and do a quick introduction of the Planning Academy. We're going to talk about Planning Academy graduation, and we're going to hand out some certificates.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. It's my pleasure to recognize the participants of the 8th session of the Community Planning Academy.
Ma'am, I'm going to ask you to move the papers that you're putting on the floor. We're doing a presentation and we're using this space for the presentation. Okay, you're being disruptive again. It is disruptive. We're holding an official public meeting. I'm going to ask you to remove the papers right now.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll get them. I'll get them, man.
Okay. Bye.
They're delivered to you.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and council members. It is my pleasure to recognize the participants of the 8th session of the Community Planning Academy this year. I'd like to thank the participants for sharing their Monday evenings last month with us. The goal of the Planning Academy is to educate and engage residents in the planning process. The Academy provides an overview of why cities plan, how planning shapes the community, and the land use planning process. During the session, the Planning Commission Chair shared his view of why he joined the commission and the philosophy for participation with the city. Through the course of the session, staff provided overviews of the general plan, the zoning ordinance, the housing element process, and challenges associated with housing, and the project review process. During the session, the class also received insight into a developer's perspective with a presentation from Sunset Development Company regarding historic and future development in Bishop Ranch. Staff also provided a virtual project tour of approved development projects throughout the city that are under construction right now. And the class was very engaged. We had great questions throughout our entire 4-week process with the session. So we hope the session with the class was that during the session, the class was able to gain additional insight and reflect on the city planning process. So with that, I'd like to recognize the 19 participants for this year's 2025 Community Planning Academy. And I know we have a number of participants here tonight. So I'm going to read through the names, and if the participants that are here tonight can come up, receive the certificate from the mayor, can take a photo, and then the participants that are not present will mail the certificates to them. All right, Iman Ram Ariano. Betty Avia.
Planning commissioners.
Manoj Bardwaj. Carla Collins.
Great.
Kelly Fahey. Here. Batsihir Giri. Mira Jacobs. Santosh Kanjula. He's here. Manoj Kula Deval. Tehran Kumar. Jamie Lan Keon. Wee Lee. Gina Martini, May Malinek, Joan Murakami, Askoulis Dotsos, Lal Tewani, Josephine Zepp, and Max Zhang.
Dude. Get one picture. You guys want to come down to it? Yeah. Just slide on over this way. We'll try to get you all in here somehow.
Hello, Miss Lauren, and you guys did so much.
Yeah, Ryan, why don't you come on up there?
Yeah.
Anybody else you want from the staff up there?
Yeah. Good job. Hope this all out.
All right, Scott, are we all gonna fit in here?
Yeah, sure.
And turn it to the inside. or something.
Yes, that's right, inside, so.
All right, 3, 2, 1, perfect. Let me get one more.
All right.
Hold on one more.
Oh, one more.
Now me. 3, 2, 1, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Well, council members, that is those are our planning academy graduates. I know they're all kind of walking out. Any final comments here?
Yeah,
Okay,
I would like to.
go ahead.
Congratulations to all graduates. Thank you for participating in our planning academy. And you know, today our council meeting was a practical class for you. You know, how it happens and what happens, right? So people there, misinformation and disinformation is being shared left and right within the community. And unfortunately, even youth is getting dragged into this. It's very sad to see that people are not even thinking twice before they do this kind of misinformation within communities. So please, now you are knowledgeable persons about how our planning works in the city. So please share that with your fellow residents. Please advise them to be part of this planning commission or planning department, work with them, or be a student of our planning academy where they can get the first-hand information. And also, it will be great if you can share your information with your fellow residents, that they can always talk to one of the council members or mayor or even your department to get the first-hand information, rather than getting this misinformation and getting out and sharing all wrong info on top of it, dragging once again. The most sad thing to see is these youth are getting involved into this wrong information. So once again, thank you very much for taking your personal time, learning, and making our community great. Thanks.
Okay. Rich? All right, go ahead, Richard.
Yeah. I wanted to say, first of all, congratulations. And I think from now on, you'll never really look at what goes on in the city the same way, because you'll have some knowledge about kind of having to weigh the pros and cons of going forward on a development, for instance. And there's a lot of things to think about maybe that you hadn't thought about before. So congratulations, and continue to move on and learn about the city and get more involved, because I think obviously you've enjoyed this and you'll enjoy further study. So thanks again.
And anyone else down on this side?
Yes, I'm happy to. So first and foremost, I just want to congratulate again all the graduates, both the ones that are here and not here. But and I know some of you also took Government 101 because I had the chance to meet you there. But so you've learned a lot, I'm sure, in this time, and we know that knowledge is power. And one of the things that we struggle with in society, especially today, not just here, but across the country and the world, frankly, is the really just prevalence of disinformation and misinformation being put out there. We really do need to do our own due diligence. We can't be passive about, taking. We have Brown Act rules which prohibit people from speaking outside their time. Those are laws. And I think sometimes those are forgotten. And so please, I'm trying to address the graduates, and it's been very inconsiderate to the graduates and not give them their time of recognition. And I just want to say, thank you for taking the course. Thank you for empowering yourself. Thank you for, just being open to learning more how the city operates. And if you ever want to have any questions, remaining after your experience, feel free to reach out to any one of us or all of us. And we're more than happy to talk with you through some of those additional residual questions you still may have after graduation. So keep being curious, keep learning, and reach out anytime. Thank you.
Oh, congratulations, graduates. I have a quick question. I apologize, Ryan, since you presented, were you the professor emeritus of the class, or was there? I was curious. Not for the whole class. I was curious. You said this is the 8th session. Is there any? How is the class conducted? Is it conducted with codes? Is it conducted with actual charts, graphs? How is it, or is it lecture style? Is it what's kind of the participation level with the class?
It's lecture style, but then we have a panel discussion towards the end, and we take questions throughout the course. We have a lot of information that we have to provide, so it can be a lot, but we're also very open to continue dialogue with the participants.
I'd imagine that the information changes obviously with the laws and so it's so the second session that you had was probably different than the 6th session, probably different than the 8th session, et cetera.
Yes, yeah, this is our 8th year doing it, so we've had to modify the course a bit based on state legislation and things like that.
Do you see it continue to go up? Is it? I don't want to say sold out, but is it booked up, the class, or?
It's typically limited to about 20 residents
Okay.
or participants. We had 19 this year.
Okay.
So we try to keep it manageable in size.
Okay. And how do they reach out? Is it on our website, or?
We typically have the application around July of each year.
July.
And the course runs typically in September of each year.
Okay.
It's 4 weeks.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, and I'll just extend my congratulations as well to all the graduates. And we've got several different courses in the city. Planning Academy absolutely is one of the most important ones, the critical ones we do, as well as was mentioned also this evening, the Community Police Academy and our Government 101 course. So always encourage our residents to participate. Ma'am, please, you're being disruptive. So congratulations again to the Planning Academy graduates, and we'll move on to the next item. Madam Clerk, what's the next item?
I'm so sorry. The next item is item 9, new business, item 9.1, public hearing. So ordinance next in line, repealing and replacing Chapter 1, California Building Code, Chapter 2, California Mechanical Code, Chapter 3, California Plumbing Code, Chapter 4, California Electrical Code, Chapter 5, California Residential Code, Chapter 8, California Green Building Standards Code, and Chapter 9, California Fire Code of Title C, Division C1 of the San Ramon Municipal Code, and adding Chapter 10, California Existing Building Code, to Title C, Division C1 of the San Ramon Municipal Code.
All right, looks like we got a Josh DeMello
Yes, sir.
for a staff report.
Yep. Good evening, Mayor and City Council.
Evening.
My name is Josh DeMello. I'm the supervising building inspector. I manage the inspections department for the Building Safety Services Division. And I'm here to introduce this ordinance and provide some background behind it. This only happens every 3 years, so it may be a little long, but I'll try and keep it short. In July of 2025, California Building Standards Commission published the 2025 edition of the Title 24 Building Codes and Standards. The Building Code Standards Commission held public hearings on the modifications to the international building codes. The modifications come from the California state agencies and include state amendments that are covered in law and then placed into the building codes. These codes regulate building construction for the entire state of California. All California jurisdictions are responsible for enforcing these codes, and we adopt the state codes. We can also make local amendments based on our city or geographical area prior to adopting the state codes, and that's what we're here for tonight. These codes, the California state codes, become mandatory for us after January 1st of 2026. And so we continue to enforce the 2022 codes, building codes, with our previous modifications until December 31st of 2025. I'll share a few notable changes in this code cycle. The California Energy Commission created most of the code changes in 2025. While Energy Commission continues to require improved efficiency for new buildings, residential dwellings, they are also addressing energy usage of existing dwellings when alterations are made. For the 2025 code cycle, the Energy Code includes upgrade requirements that will reduce the energy use for California's 7.6 million existing single-family dwellings when alterations are made. The Energy Code encourages use of inherently efficient electric heat pumps for space and water heating in new buildings, stricter energy performance standards in windows. They've decreased the U factor from 0.45 to 0.40. They've increased insulation ratings for walls. Attic insulation was previously R30, but when you put on a new roof, a cool roof exemption would be R38. So you'd have to increase your attic insulation. They've made it now R38. So yeah, across the board. They've added requirements for electric-ready commercial kitchens and some multifamily buildings. Demand responsive controls for HVAC. So when no one's present, it's like a Nest. The unit will.
Sorry, Josh, I had a quick question just for clarification for the citizens out there. R38, if you could elaborate what that means.
Like the batted insulation when you go up in your attic, the the foam looking stuff.
That's the
in your
foam
attic.
stuff, okay.
It keeps the heat in or the cool in. And so it's thicker.
Okay.
R38 is thicker than R30.
Okay. Is that related to the height of the attic or is it just R38?
Just R38. It's
Across,
the
okay.
it's the thickness of the
That pink stuff?
Yes. The
Okay,
pink stuff.
thank
Yep,
you.
You got it. So the things like thermostat when no one's present, just much like your Nest Works, when no one's home, it doesn't heat the house. These are things that'll be implemented in the machinery. Battery storage system readiness. When you construct a new home, the home needs to be ready for a battery. So the homeowner could buy a battery and plug it in without having to make modifications to the home. EV charging spaces are required per unit for multifamily buildings. So, and the circuit that serves the parking space has to be connected to the apartment so they can monitor usage. PV solar systems are now allowed to utilize the total solar access roof area on commercial buildings minus the setbacks and fire paths. Here's a big one. Swimming pool barriers that isolate the swimming pool from access to the home are no longer exempt from permitting. Previously, the only time we looked at pool fencing was when a new pool was added or when it was resurfaced. And now after January 1st, it's going to require a permit to put it in. And this doesn't include the 6-foot property fence. This is because of Senate Bill 442, the Pool Safety Act. There's a few options you can put in to protect a barrier between the home and the pool. And so it would be a smaller fence inside your property that separates the two. Additionally, many of the changes in the residential code are references to Part 7. Part 7 was previously blank. They've now created a new section called the California Wildland Urban Interface Code, which adds provisions for high fire zones, homes up to the edge of the city. We won't be adopting that chapter directly. The San Ramon Fire Protection District will be adopting it along with the Fire Code, Part 9, and then we'll be ratifying their adoption of this. That's just a few of the changes. And there's many in each code cycle. That's just a brief. But it should be noted that Assembly Bill 130 and Senate Bill 131 have now required that our 2025 code will be on a 6-year cycle. So the residential portion of the code will not change for 6 years. The commercial will change in 2028. The state put kind of a hold on this because the cost of construction goes up, the code changes. And so this was to address the state's housing shortage and development challenges. So then now we get into our local amendments. First off, our local modifications are no different than we've done in the past, previous cycles, other than we've updated the code section numbers because sometimes when they add or delete information, it shifts. And so we fixed that. California is one of the strictest, if not the strictest state when it comes to building codes, and we do not make any modifications that decrease the standards. We're not permitted to decrease the standards, but in some cases we have increased the standards. A lot of our modifications are due to proximity to the earthquake fault, and they're slightly stricter to protect the structures for that. There's a few other modifications that simplify or clarify some of the ambiguous language or duplicate code in between the mechanical, electrical, and so forth. When it comes to building code and residential code, they're pretty similar. For example, we never see reinforced concrete or unreinforced concrete. No, we don't see concrete by itself without rebar installed. But the code does permit that. So we have added in there that it's required to have the rebar in it. We don't see anybody try to do it without the rebar, but we put it in there just in case. Because of fault zones, you want a solid foundation. We also prohibit the use of sheetrock or gypsum board for shear. We found that the sheetrock cracks during the earthquake. So it's only good for one use. So if you have aftershocks or future earthquakes later and it hasn't been repaired, it's going to cause, the next shake is going to cause damage to the structure. So we require plywood sheathing or metal sheathing reinforcement steel to protect the structure in that way. The mechanical code, when it comes to the mechanical code, there is a requirement for plan check checklists. Our staff do a thorough job with the residential plan checks. So we don't need additional checklists that would complicate the delivery of information by providing multiple lists that say pretty much the same thing, but worded differently. We just keep it down to one. So we've removed the Appendix A because we have that covered. The plumbing code, table 422.1 does not include all types of occupancies and the number of plumbing fixtures required. So we modified the language in 422.1 to reference both table 422.1 of the plumbing code and table 2902.1 of the building code. So we ensure that all occupancies are covered in there. Just saves confusion if they're not sure where something is, it doesn't get the wrong count on it. When it comes to the electrical code, there is requirements for permitting fees and permit applications that are already covered in the building code. So to avoid double requirements or confusion between the two, we just simplify it by referring only to the building code when it comes to those things. Residential code, we do that as well. We refer to the building code, just like the electric code. We're simplifying, making sure there's only one reference. But also there's a table in the residential code. R301.2 is for climatic and geographic design criteria. The table's blank in the code because it can be used in all areas. Different seismic zones, climate zones. It has areas for snow and ice barriers, high wind like hurricanes. We've pre-populated that and provided it. So it refers just to our area or our city. That's just a few examples and the reasons behind them. When it comes to adoption, the adoption of these codes will not apply to any permits issued or applied for prior to January 1st of 2026. Any permit that's currently active or will stay under the 22 code until completion, and anything applied for up until December 31st of 25 will stay under the 22 code. If someone is applying and wants to use the 25 code, they're welcome to. There's some cases where they benefit on the energy calculations by using the new code. They're more than welcome to start early, and use that. So with that said, after tonight, council may either make changes to the ordinance provided, and it'll be reintroduced on October 28th, or if no changes are made, we'll introduce the ordinance for consideration of adoption on October 28th City Council meeting. And if it's adopted, the ordinance will take effect on January 1st, 2026. With that said, that's the end of my presentation.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Josh. Do we have any questions for Josh? Go
I
ahead.
do, Mayor. Thanks, Josh, for the presentation. For the applications that were submitted already for housing now, is this retroactive, or do the developers have to resubmit a new application to meet these new building code requirements that will take effect in 2026?
The application was submitted under the 22 code. It's approved under 22 code, and it will follow 22 code until finished. So even if it rolls into next year, they don't have to make changes.
Understood. Okay, got it. Okay, and this a lot in the description here applies not only to residential but corporate buildings, et cetera, right? So this is multifamily, multi-story, or actually businesses itself, correct? Okay, understood.
There's different codes depending on the occupancy. So, apartment buildings and commercial buildings have a little bit different codes, but the book itself, Title 24 is the full thing.
Yeah.
Including all occupancies.
Yeah. And last question regarding, if I remember correctly, you said every 6 years? Maybe I got that wrong. Every 6 years we review this? Or?
So it's every 3 years.
I'm sorry, every 3 years. Okay.
Well, it's every 3 years, but we're in a unique situation. Because of the housing crisis, California has put a hold on the residential. So we're going to adopt the 25 code.
Okay.
And it's going to stay in place until the 2031. That's for residential only. It's not for commercial. Commercial, there will be changes made in 2028. But this is a one-time thing. It's typically 3 years.
Got it. Okay, and I just had a last question out of curiosity. When a developer comes in or a contractor comes in and they submit an application, is there this code is just handed to them, or how does that typically work for?
It's a state code. They're aware.
Oh, they're aware of it.
So
Okay.
they when they develop their plans, they develop it based on the code section. They're aware of when it applies and when it changes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Other questions? That's your.
Yeah, so this is part of a national standards, although each state, I'm assuming, has maybe individual characteristics like earthquakes, like we have here. And so that's a big part of it. And so we have to, shore up some of the, the earthquake support and so on. And there's no fiscal impact here because we already have it kind of, we've already got some of the inspection services, in place, right? So there's no extra charge that we have to pay. Is that right?
No, it's the state changes it. So there's the international code, then the state adopts the international code and makes modifications. Then it comes to us to make modifications. We don't pay for it. The increased expenses will be training for our staff. Since things change, we're constantly going through training. We'll be providing, creating handouts, providing the information on the website. There is a link from the Building Standards Commission that has copies of the codes. They're placed on our website. There's also the 22 codes placed on the same page so people can compare the two if necessary. But the information is public information.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Other questions?
I just wanted to clarify for the knowledge of the public that, so even though the residential code until 2031 will be enforced for 6 years, right? The non-residential codes will remain triennial until 2028, correct?
Yep.
Okay, at that point, what happens in 2020? Because these are kind of staggered years, so I was just wondering what happens also with 2028 versus 2031 here.
It will have a 2028 code that only affects commercial buildings. The residential will stay under the code that's published right now, the 2025 code.
So
they
it'll
won't
be
change.
updated for
Yeah.
that year?
Yeah.
Okay, that was it. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, Vice Mayor?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay. Just a couple questions. One, can you go back to what you were saying about pools? We got a lot of pool owners in San Ramon. Can you go back and make that comment again?
So Senate Bill 442 is the Pool Safety Act. It was around 2016, maybe 2019, somewhere around then. But you're provided 7 options for pool safety. So when you put in a new pool, you can put a fence around the pool that separates it. You have door alarms. There's a couple other options, a buoy in the pool. But if you install that fence around the pool, it's now not exempt from permitting. So you need to have inspections to make sure it's installed properly, the correct height, the correct securement, and so forth.
So that's, I think you started talking about new housing, but this applies to current housing with a pool already in existence?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So typically when you put in a new pool, you do these things. That's when the inspectors come out and verify it. And whatever of the 2 of the 7 options you choose, we verify that you've done that. If you resurface your pool, we'll do the same. Some people I talked to a homeowner that had a rental property and she was putting one of these fences in voluntarily, not doing any of the other work. Come January 1st, she'll need a permit for it. If she does it today, she does not need a permit for it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for clarifying that. And the next question I have is really kind of a basic one. What discretion does the city have with respect to deviating from any of these codes that we're talking about here?
We cannot be less restrictive than what the state publishes. We can be more restrictive as much as we want, as we find necessary. Again, back to the Senate Bill 130 and 131, Assembly Bill 130, Senate Bill 131, we're kind of in a unique situation. Our local amendments are only permitted this code cycle to be substantially similar to what we've adopted in the past. and we're very consistent with each code cycle. We don't necessarily change, but that's where we're restricted. We cannot make it much different than what we did in 2022. That's for residential. Commercial, we can be as strict as we find necessary. But again, we're not making anything different than we've done before.
Okay, thank you. And you know, it's kind of good to see in there, you know, because we are on an earthquake fault, we're right on the Calaveras fault here in San Ramon. So it's good to see the information there about earthquakes in terms of not allowing the gypsum or sheetrock type of bracing. I applied for the California Residential Mitigation Program, and they have a thing called a earthquake brace and bolt grant program. And I applied a year ago, didn't get accepted into it. This year I got accepted, and I'm under a timeline now to get a permit and get contractors to come. And that will be to use some of that plywood sheeting underneath the crawl space under the house, as well as to bolt down the foundation at the right types of bolts and the right spacing and things like that. The program, by the way, for our residents is there's still a registration period open, but only for another 3 days for this year's earthquake brace and bolt grants.
That's good.
You can go to earthquakebraceandbolt.com and apply for that program. You can get up to $3,000 that'll go towards the mitigation work in the crawl space of your house if you got a crawl space and you're found to be eligible. For those who are on lower income, I think it was up to like $89,000. You can get supplemental grants as well. So it's a good program it won't pay for everything, but it'll make your house safer if you can get that grant. Again, 3 more days to apply for that if you're interested.
We've seen a lot of those come through in the past few years or so, and it does good. The inspectors crawl underneath your house. We'll look at each bolt and verify they did it right. So
you'll see my permit shortly.
Yeah,
permit request.
I'll look forward to it.
Okay, any other questions?
I do, Mayor, sorry. 2 questions came up. One, the jurisdiction for this law, for these ordinances, do they reach to like Norris Canyon Estates or that are in the city, but they're really under the county? Is there, or it's all within the city limits of San Ramon?
Our local ordinance, the modifications that we make are for the city of San Ramon. So if you're referring to with the new builds out by county, they're still following the state required codes.
Okay.
But the ordinance, they should be working with us because we are going to adopt those buildings once they're finished.
Yep.
They should be following those as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do these, last question, these apply to ADUs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, they do apply to ADUs. Okay.
Yeah. It's any construction. There's very few exemptions of when you don't need a permit, but definitely when you're building a structure, that's definitely permits are required. Codes are followed, and then we have our ordinances for that.
So if I were to buy a prefabricated ADU,
prefabricated, that's different. They are verified and inspected by the state.
Okay.
You'll get a foundation permit. We will verify the foundation, and then they'll bring it in and set it on the foundation. So it's still built to state codes, but as far as inspectors, we don't go inside. Of course, you have to work with planning to make sure that you have it on the right spot in the on your lot, height, so things like that. But it's still built to California codes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, John.
Okay. Any final questions from staff or from council? Okay. Then can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
I move the motion.
I will second that.
All right. Motion by Vice Mayor Rose, second by Councilmember Rubio. Let's get it up on the screen there.
Oh, sorry. Did it again. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, you're gonna have to switch them again. All right. Please cast your vote. And, okay, public hearing is now open. As a reminder for those speaking under this item, please restrict your comments to 3 minutes. And do we have any speaker cards?
We do. We've received 2 speaker cards. The first one is Alexandra Remendez del Favero.
Okay. Alexandra, your time is for you now. Please, Alexandra, please address the city council. Alexandra,
Tried to speak.
you're to,
I've tried to.
you're to speak to the city council, not to the members of the public.
Now, I'm coming.
You're being disruptive, Alexandra. I'm going to ask you to address the council.
My community. I'm leaning into my community because I'm a single mother and I'm a business owner.
Alexandra, please address the council, this is not your time to address the public.
Domestic violence survivors.
Through the mayor, you could just inform that this is a disruptive behavior and that she's also already been warned, and at this point,
Okay.
further disruption would result in expulsion from the meeting.
I'm a domestic violence survivor. And Mayor Armstrong, I have already emailed your council for 4 months with no response. At this time, I am tired. So requesting for me to continue to talk to you guys is insanity. I will not continue to tirelessly speak to you when you have not responded to me for months. I will speak to my community because
Okay.
that is where I am.
All right,
hoping.
you'll address the city council. You're being disruptive. I'm going to ask you to stop now or you will be removed.
I am submitting.
You're being disruptive.
petition.
Point of order, Mayor.
Can you please remove?
Point of order.
All right, we've got a point of order.
Point of order.
Point of order.
This is a peaceful petition.
Robert, what's your point of order?
Epilepsy. I have epilepsy.
If you might remove this lady, thank you.
Epilepsy.
Okay. Yeah.
And I requested for a female officer through an email. I am requesting a female officer for an ADA accommodation because I am a domestic violence survivor. I'm requesting a female officer. I'm requesting.
We're asking you to leave the meeting.
A female officer, and I'm not touching you.
I'm not trying to.
I'm requesting a female officer. I would like to grab my, I'm not,
Absolutely, you may
why
grab-
are you
come grab.
anywhere near me?
Because you're being removed from this meeting.
You're being
right now for
removed,
disruptive
please.
behavior.
Thank you.
That is what is happening right now. So please gather your belongings and we'll walk out.
I filed my legal complaint against you.
Okay.
Please, give me space. I filed my police report. I would like a copy of it, of all of my police reports that I have filed to you that you have not responded to, chief. I would like a copy of all of them. Can I please have a copy of every single police
Let's
report
go.
that you have not
It's time to
responded
go.
to?
Time to go.
Can you please respond to me?
Time to go.
Can you please respond to
You
me?
know where I work. You know my phone number. You can
I
contact me.
I have sent you emails and you have not responded. I am requesting someone else to walk into my car because I do not feel safe with this person.
I'm not walking out of council chambers with you.
I'm requesting for another person to come with me, please. At this time, I do not feel comfortable.
Okay. All right, next speaker, please.
Chirag Kathrani.
Well, I would believe in this, you should have a presentation along with this building codes when this is much bigger presentation. So are we going to get another discussion on this, or would this be the last discussion? Question, maybe. Okay, and other point I wanted to answer about Vice Mayor, when he talked about misinformation and disinformation. So let me give you the first source of the misinformation. It's
Is this 9.1? Okay, all right.
Not repealed or amended by council action. Only the voters can choose.
Is this item
So-
9.1?
Ordinance 5.
Are you speaking to item 9.1?
Well, I want to correct the misinformation and disinformation subject that Vice Mayor had
Okay.
called for.
You can
Okay?
address at a
Thank you.
different time. Thank you.
There are no more public speakers.
Okay, do we have any written comment on this item?
There's no written comment.
Okay, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
I move the motion to close the public hearing.
Okay, we have a motion, Vice Mayor Veros, second, Councilmember Adler. Let's get that up there. Okay. Okay, public hearing is now closed. Matter is before the council. The recommendation here is to, we've introduced the ordinance, waive the reading, read by title only, and what would the council like to do?
I move to set the ordinance for adoption at the October 28th, 2025 City Council meeting.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second.
Just one moment, Mayor. I believe that,
Joan read it. Yeah, beginning she read through.
no, you are correct. My apologies.
I think we've
You did.
read by title only already, correct?
Yes, we did.
Okay. All right. Got a motion and a second. Okay, motion passes. We're going to continue the item and set the ordinance for adoption at the city council meeting scheduled October 28th, 2025. I will ask the city manager if any individuals have any specific questions, if we could get them linked up with Josh for their specific questions or additional information, that'd be helpful.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Next item is item 10, city manager and city council members' comments and matters initiated.
All right, thank you, Mayor and members of the council. A few items for this evening. Trick or Treat on the Farm is coming this Saturday, October 18th. So stop by Forest Home Farms between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. and visit the different stations for activities and treats to take home, and costumes are encouraged. The results of the first community survey for the Trails Master Plan are now available on the city website. A follow-up survey is open until October 24th. For more info, go to sanramon.ca.gov/trails. And now the Street Smarts Bike Rodeo is now the Street Smarts Community Bike Festival. Our bike rodeos have grown over the years, and now it's a full-blown festival. It's coming up this Saturday, October 25th at Iron Horse Middle School. Drop in anytime between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. This is a free, family-friendly event that will feature safety education, games, entertainment, and a chance to win prizes, including a brand new bike. Pre-registration is recommended, so visit street-smarts.com for more information. Also, the Bob Humbug 5K walk and run and Kids Dash will take place Saturday, December 6th. Early bird registration is now open, and you can sign up by October 31st for a discounted rate. And one other item that I'd like to plug this evening, Mayor, we do have an email address, info@sanramon.ca.gov. We do receive hundreds of emails a week, and we would encourage any resident that has any question whatsoever to email info@sanramon.ca.gov, and we will get them to a subject matter expert for whatever question that they ask. So once again, anyone has any question about anything in the city, any city operations, that's info@sanramon.ca.gov. And with that, that concludes my update for this evening.
All right, thank you very much for that. All right, let me start down here with Councilmember Adler. Any council member comments?
Sure. I went to the Fall Fest at Forest Home Farms on October 4th. Saturday was a beautiful day, and really enjoyed the company. They had a great band that played, and as a community, it's a great event. So next year, I suggest you go. had wine, lots of good things going on, and we have our own farm, which is fun to be at. The second one was the next day. I went to the American Legion, the Mount Diablo Post. It was a recognition. It was Post 246, by the way. Recognition luncheon held at the Veterans Memorial Hall in Danville, and I was there to provide certificate of appreciations to members of our local high schools who went to the Cal State. There's girls and boys. I wrote it down here somewhere. I went to they went to a Cal State University event, Sacramento, from June 21st to the 27th. It was a hands-on experience where the students learn about structure of city, county, and state government. And this is based on the Cal State Constitution. And they kind of replicate the reality of being elected officials. They go through a mock legislative session. It's Girls and Boys State is what it's called. And great opportunity. Some of these kids are just brilliant. I mean, they're going on to college and astrophysics. One of them had a degree that was actually gonna major in that. The next thing I did was we all went to the California League of Cities conference in Long Beach last week, Wednesday through Friday. We had an open general session. We were, met by the mayor. We were welcomed by the mayor of Long Beach. Had a good keynote address on the future of technology, especially the next 10 years. We saw Gabe Quinto. He's the vice president of that body, and he's from El Cerrito, so it was good to see him get that recognition. On Saturday, I also went on a walk for suicide awareness. There were a number of us that were there to support the wife of Bill. Her name is Joan Pruitt, and her husband, Bill, committed suicide a couple years ago, and we were there to raise money for suicide awareness. That night, I went to a Bollywood-style Garba gala, which was held over at the Harvest Park Middle School in Pleasanton. I also was there with the Pleasanton City Council member, Julie Testa. And so we were both welcomed and got involved and saw a lot of great dancing and colorful dresses. So that's what I did. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm good. Come down to this end. Councilmembers, why not?
Thank you, Mayor. I too attended the Cal Cities League of Cities Cal Cities League of Cities in Long Beach with my colleagues and staff, and thank you guys for a great time. And it was good to hear a lot of the speakers. For those at home, there is an app. It's the you can download it. It's the League of Cal Cities app, and they have all the speakers, the presentations, and I'm not sure if they have the videos there or this, but they have the presentations and the material.
The PowerPoints from
so
sessions.
It's a great resource. A lot of material there. You can catch up on what we've been through, so I won't bore you with all that material, but it's free information from the state, and you kind of see what other cities are doing, which is a good resource guide. And that was it, Mayor. Thank you.
Member Rubio.
Okay, so on 9/24, I attended with many of my fellow council members the San Ramon Valley Fire Protection District Training Facility ribbon cutting event, which was quite impressive. The simulation and everything they put together was just really wonderful. It's an important training to help them prepare an event of a real fire. So there's some sort of desensitization monetization, wow, that is a mouthful to say, to help them be able to handle unexpected events. So great facility. And it's also one that will not only serve us, but it will serve regionally. And so over time, this will actually kind of the cost will offset itself over time. Then on also 9/24, I attended with the vice mayor and the mayor, the Tri-Valley Cities Council's meeting and dinner in Dublin. And while it was a very interesting presentation, it was a little hard to hear, so I wish I could give you more details, but it's a little difficult to hear. The room was not very amenable to making out what was being said. But then on October 6th, I did attend also the Senior Citizens Advisory Committee. Main thing that we had discussed was the National Senior Center Month Review. And basically just discuss what things they liked, they didn't like, and just sort of planning for the future there. We also reviewed nominee and select recipient of the Senior Recognition Programs. And that was given to Judy Kwoni was nominated. She's somebody who's volunteered 2 to 3 days a week at the senior center, but she's also volunteered not just at ours, but in other local cities like in Dublin. So she's really somebody who just gives because she cares. And that's, in today's day and age, I just feel like we need more and more compassion and love. And she really embraces that. So, and then we just had a brief goal-setting discussion, of which I also happened to mention just briefly some of the feedback that Vice Mayor Veros and I received from 2 community events that we held to answer. They were Ask Me Anything events. We had 2 of them with a great show out to take in any question the community had. Some of the people here weren't there, so we could not answer their questions. But we definitely made ourselves available and promoted it, and we had a great turnout and learned a lot. And I took that feedback and made sure to share that with the Senior Advisory Committee, and Steve Cox is definitely getting on that. I gave them the contact information to make sure who to follow up with, so that we make sure, especially where Vice Mayor Veros and I represent, we have a very sizable immigrant population. So I let them know, hey, their needs may be slightly different. And I want to make sure we plug them in on these, what their resources are and how we can support them in the type of events and community events they want to hold. So, and then, as was mentioned, from 10/7 to October 10th, I attended also the League of California Cities. And somewhere in between, we squeezed in a birthday song for my birthday, which was great. And I made another trip around a year here, and I'm just very happy that I have my health, and that I was very grateful to my staff and to my fellow council members. Your singing is far better than I had actually expected. So, and then that was it. Busy, but it was great. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Vice Mayor Veros.
Yeah, as already mentioned about Tri-Valley City Council, attended along with my council members. It was pretty much majority of state new laws that are coming up is being shared by our consultant Townsend, and also about federal laws that are coming up on our city, especially around land use policies, also around transportation. So that's one. And then attended again along with our fellow council members as well as mayor and staff, our League of Cal Cities event. My favorite are 2 of them. One is the keynote speech by Crystal on AI, as myself technology and technologist and part of AI group. So it was pretty interesting on how we should be embracing the AI, how it is going to disrupt and enhance the quality of life, and how we should be continuing to utilize this AI to bring a high quality of life for our residents. So it was very interesting topic. And then Another one I really enjoyed and learned is from Assembly Member Laurie Wilson. She's our chair of State Assembly State Transportation Committee. So she shared the plans about our future transportation, what are the projects going on, and most interestingly, our air taxis. In next most probably 2 years, we'll be seeing air taxis. So that's very interesting. And then, as Councilmember Rubio mentioned, we had 2 open community events, Ask Me Anything, AMA sessions. The first one was in September 28th at Mosaic Park, and the second one was October 4th in Piccadilly Square Park. This was open for everyone. Thanks to all the community residents attending and making this huge successful. I wish a lot of the people who came here, they were there in that meeting. And there were some top questions came up. First top one is public safety. Thanks to Chief for joining us, and also Lieutenant Kiefer for being there and answering questions related to the public safety, and also the questions around property tax. And especially Windermere, there is a Melrose tax. A lot of people get confused thinking that they are paying this property tax to the city, but they are paying to the county. So those questions were clarified. So that's, and the next one was about RENA. A lot of questions came up around RENA, and we shared about 5,111 units that we need to zone and all that information. And then they even asked some questions around Measure G, and we could able to share all that transparent information about, and also whatever the myths and misinformation that they were getting, they got cleared. And also a lot of questions on parks and community services, especially the enhancements. Especially we have a huge senior community within Doughty Valley. They requested, so as Councilmember Rubio mentioned, there will be some of that work will be, our request will be transferred to our staff, especially the shade, and shade is one of the important things that they were requesting on that. And yeah, that's pretty much. Thank you.
Well, what about Durga Puja?
Oh, Durga Puja, yeah, Agumoni. Yeah, so Durga Puja, Agumoni Puja, I attended along with our fellow council members. It's now this is considered as one of the signature event in our San Ramon. This is one of the huge festival event that happens in our Bishop Ranch parking lot. This is, I think this is almost 8th year, I think, and it was very well attended. And a lot of good food, music, a lot of things happen.
Good,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank
You had something?
Oh, I just want to add 2 things. Yes, I went to the same one, the transportation at Cal Cities, and one of the things, if I recall correctly, they were mentioning the need for more high-speed rail. Just the infrastructure of California is really lacking in terms of getting us out of cars and into public transportation. I remember they talked quite a bit about that, and that was a very good choice there. The other thing is just as a comment that was mentioned, because the city manager was talking about how to reach us. I would highly suggest that if you have comments pertaining to an upcoming meeting on something on the agenda, it is best to submit it at least a full day in advance. If you send it to us 2 hours before a meeting, or even I think there was a couple emails coming in 1 hour before, I looked at a lot of the comments that were somewhat repetitive in nature, almost like a template was used, and they were all submitted last minute, right off at the cutoff time. And that's just not really fair to the staff. Staff cannot, at this point, at that juncture of the day, is preparing for this meeting tonight. So you have to prepare. If you want a response, give the staff time to respond to you. This is just a recommendation. You don't have to take it. I'm just trying to give you help so that you can get a response.
Okay, thank you. And it's been a while since we've had our last meeting. Several of the things I attended have already been covered. I'll kind of go over some of the ones that weren't. One is the Live Well Resource Fair that was over at the Senior Center. Very well attended, kind of maxed out the space there, maxed out kind of the number of vendors from the various organizations and facilities, and had different resources. Great event as always. Every year we hold that Live Well Resource Fair for the seniors. I also attended a Contra Costa Transportation Authority planning meeting. We approved a concept as an activity-based travel model for larger projects versus a trip-based model, which will still be available for smaller projects. Then we recommended that move on to the full authority board. Also attended the Contra Costa County Mayor's Conference. We had Kristen Connolly, the county clerk recorder, come and talk. She talked about the November 4th special election. There was also a presentation on shoreline adaptation. And I'm going to turn to the city manager for a second. I kind of got, should have asked you earlier about this, but I understand there were some deviations to our normal polling places because some of the facilities are not available. Do you have any information on that you can put out?
I may just throw it over to the city clerk, but I do know that we no longer have ballot boxes inside of City Hall. If you do approach City Hall, there are signs on the door for where the ballot boxes are, but to be completely 100% accurate, I will turn it over to Joan.
I believe our polling places are the same, so there hasn't been a change to those. I do know that we do have the 3 ballot drop-off locations. We also have, there's early voting locations. So was it any particular
No, I
location that-
might have misunderstood the information. If there is any changes, if we can maybe get that information out in a weekly newsletter, perhaps.
Of course.
I'm an inspector, co-worker, and they did change some voting locations here.
Okay,
They
all right.
moved
I
the
believe
voting-
they've added.
Okay, all right. So if we can get any.
We'll get that information out,
there,
yeah.
that'd be great.
Yep.
Also held a mayor's breakfast. We had Chief Carlson come and talk about Heller's Jewelers, and you don't have to come back right now, but thanks for the update. We started back up the mayor's breakfast after about a 5-year break, and we're going to do that once a month. Opportunity to come listen to community leaders. Next month in November, we're going to have Supervisor Candace Anderson come as our guest presenter. And just make another comment on the Fall Fest. We sold some honey there in support of the San Ramon Historic Foundation as a fundraiser, over $500 worth of honey that from the hives that are now kind of over at the farm. Is our first year having the hives over there, so good success there. On the 6th of October, I had a meeting with church leaders over at Roundhouse. They wanted to know what our church community can do to help out San Ramon. So we had a good discussion on that. Also on the 6th of October, city manager and I had a walk with Senator Grayson around the city core area. We showed him some things, talked to him, get him an orientation to what San Ramon is all about, some of the great things that are going on, some of our challenges, talked about housing and some of the upcoming changes that will be seen in the city core area, as well as some of our initiatives, the bridge, land use planning in general, et cetera. Also on the 6th of October, I attended the Southwest Area Transportation Board of Directors meeting. We got an update on the ongoing integrated transit plan that the CCTA is working on. Also got an update on some sub-regional grants and approved a sub-regional grant for the traffics program. And then, let's see, this weekend on Sunday was a Run for Education. Just want to give a shout out to all of our city staff who participated in supporting that event. We had our police out there in force. We had our public works, public services folks out there, parks department, just a whole cast of folks, and it was well attended. The San Ramon Valley Education Foundation always puts on a great event, a lot of great sponsors, tons of volunteers to make that event happen. It's always a good time. I encourage you to sign up for next year. And then this morning, I gave a presentation to the Danville San Ramon Rotary Club on new and future land use for San Ramon. We talked about some of the state requirements that are coming down and kind of the focus of development in our city core area, how that's protecting our neighborhoods, protecting our open space, and our retail. And just that whole idea that we've talked about so many times about building out that area as as part of priority number 6 of our council priorities. If you look at those as kind of developing out that city core area as opposed to other places where possible. And we've got the Tri-Valley Mayor's Luncheon coming up tomorrow. So looking forward to that. And where are we doing that? In Pleasanton, that's right. I'll be there. And that's, there's a few other things, fundraisers and things like that, but it was a busy last few weeks, and I think that's it. Any final thoughts from council members?
Oh, I just wanted to say, I think Vice Mayor Burrows and I forgot to mention also that we were there at the Run for Education, and that was
That's right.
Yes. So, but yeah, no, great. I was focused on the Tiny Tots short run. It was supposed to be a 1 mile run, but it was technically maybe a little shorter than that, but it's a great run.
Okay. All right. Well, then